A human being, you have 8.25 seconds to grab their attention. So what makes a good pitch? It has to be memorable, it has to be short, and it has to say how you help, not what you do.
Welcome to the interview presented by New Horizons. We're talking with Lisa Raebel of Rebel Girl Marketing about how to help you differentiate yourself from all of the other competitors on a job search and then perfect your pitch so when you get to the real person, they understand why you're different and you can get the job. So what makes a good pitch in terms of being a job seeker? What makes it go?
So you're not gonna, if you get the interview and you're walking to the HR person's office, you're not gonna like give the pitch, right? Because you've already gotten past that point of having to do the pitch. So the pitch really comes in before you get the interview. The pitch comes in when you're out networking. So for example, if somebody says, "Hey Lisa, what do you do?" I have a ready-made answer. A human being, you have 8.25 seconds to grab their attention. Yes, 8.25 seconds. So that first two sentences is going to be very, very important. If you sound like everybody else, they're going to stop listening after that 8.25 seconds, in theory. So what makes a good pitch? It has to be memorable, it has to be short, and it has to say how you help, not what you do.
So memorable, short, and how you help, not what you do. Okay, that's some good stuff. So memorable, are we saying a unique word? Are we presenting it in a way that makes them go, huh? Like talk about the memorable part.
So if I'm just at a regular like networking event and I'm just in general, people that don't know what they do or who they are, people say, well, what do you do? And then I honestly, all I say is I'm the Nanny McPhee of marketing. And they always will say, what does that mean? And so then I can go back and say exactly what I do. My job is to help organizations with their marketing as long as they need me, and then I'm gone. And so that ties it all back. But in a networking, if I know if there's a bunch of business owners in there, I'm not going to say that. They're going to pat me on the head and say, go play in the corner. That was really sweet. In that situation, I say, my job is to make sure that when a client or prospect needs what you offer, they think of you first before your competition. That speaks exactly to what I do, but it also tells what the benefit of the company is.
What about style points? Like if you're talking to someone and you're perfecting your pitch and you're talking about how you're different than everybody else, it's not just what you say, right? It's kind of how you present it. Like, is there a personal style and an energy that has to be brought to the game?
Oh, absolutely. So if you're standing there, so one of the reasons that I say perfecting your pitch is because your pitch is never perfect. It's always in transition, it's always morphing, and it's always moving, right? So it's always going to be based on what your newest experience is or who your audience is. So the best idea is to practice it. So what you don't want to do is somebody says, "Hey, yeah, Pat, what do you do?" And Pat goes, "Hold on, I got this." Um, and you have to think about what it is you want to say because you wrote it but you didn't memorize it and you didn't practice it. So instead of it, when somebody says, "Hey, what do?" You want to be able to just go boop and there it is, and it's not, you're not stumbling over the words, you're not trying to remember what you said, you're not trying to figure that out. You're just like, this is what I do and this is how I help. And people go, "Oh, it's not this, well, I kind of do this, but I might be able to do this, but I can also do this over here." And then a minute later, you're still talking and they've already like went and got another beer or something. So you have to make sure that it's, like I said, that's why it's short and it's memorable.
And I think a lot of people are coming at job seeking through the lens of if I'm the best at doing what I do, then I'll get the job, as opposed to it being kind of a marketing campaign and showing people that you're different and you're memorable. And that's kind of a
Mhm.
dated way to look at getting a job, right? I'm the best, so they should hire me.
Oh, absolutely. Because what you have to realize is that, we're human beings working with other human beings. And so the what is also very dated, Pat, is the term soft skill. Those soft skills, those personable skills. It's also a very dated way of looking at it because honestly, it's those skills that are going to get you the job. Because people want to work with somebody who's going to blend well into their culture and with the other teammates. They can always teach you how to do what you do, but if you're not a very nice person and you come off like that, even though you can do really well, they're probably not going to hire you based on the fact that you're just not going to fit into their culture.
I want to go back to a job seeker that's taking what they do and twisting it to the benefit that they provide. And there's a difference between saying, I'm a cloud IT security advisor or a cybersecurity advisor. And as opposed to that, you could say, I help shareholders sleep at night because I protect systems from being hacked. Like that's something that would
Exactly.
get their attention.
So if you think about your job, whatever your job might be, if you
Mhm.
think about what you want, or a job that you used to have, but you used New Horizons, and now you're going for something more awesome, because you've done all the training, then it's like, what is the benefit of what you do?
And I think this is kind of a different way of thinking, especially when it comes to people that do technology. What is the benefit of doing what you do and then putting it into a way that the hiring manager would say, yes, I need someone on my team that does that. Not
Yep.
just I'm certified in blah, 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 because everybody's certified in blah, 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 blah. And that gets to the heart of our conversation today. How are you different than everyone else? And what
Hmm.
benefits do you provide when you show up? So if I was just starting right now and, there was a job out there I wanted to get, just summarize for us, what should I do? Like what are the steps I should take to help position myself with my pitch and then in the interview to help myself stand apart?
So a lot of this goes off of the Simon Sinek start with why. It really good. That's the core of it. So if you want a reference point to go to and say, okay, so this makes sense, but how do I do it? Start with why, and Simon Sinek's program is a really good way to start it. And what he does is he has three consecutive circles, like a big circle, and then a smaller circle, and then one on the inside. And if you Google it and you go to YouTube and you look at Simon Sinek Start With Why, there's a 15 and a 5 minute version of him explaining it, and it's brilliant. And it's older, but it is going to be timeless and it's going to stick around for a long time. Because what Pat is saying is that it's not what you do or how you do it, it's the why you do it. What is the benefit? What is the why that you do? And so it's a really good way of doing it that way. So if you're trying to figure that out, the Start With Why book and the video are very good ways of figuring out what your unique why is of why you do something. So I worked with a business owner one time, and he does consulting for roofs, and so he doesn't actually do the construction itself, but he helps the clients making sure that they have the right materials and everything. So we went through the whole thing. It's like, why did you buy the business? Well, he gave me this answer, and then he gave me that answer, and he gave me that answer. And I finally I'd asked him until I got to what I wanted. And it was, we help protect people's businesses and the people inside the buildings. So it was about protecting the people and the right resources, not about the revenue or wanting to own a business or anything like that. It was about getting down to the core of what really makes him passionate about what he does. Because in the end of the day, he helps literally save people's lives by making sure that the structure of the building is intact and it doesn't fall literally on their heads, which unfortunately has happened in the recent past.
And when you
Not
go
for our
back
clients, but not for his clients, by the way, but somebody else's client.
And when you go back to the barbecue example, when you introduce yourself to someone else, that's going to be much more compelling and memorable than I build houses or buildings or whatever. That's going to
Mhm.
really help cut through why you're doing it and help you stand apart. This is a fantastic conversation. And I hope that if you're looking for a job right now, you're looking past your qualifications and looking to the benefits that you provide for people. And then taking Lisa up on her challenge, which is, okay, how can you package that in a way that's memorable? Do you have any final thoughts for a job seeker as they start to take advantage of this advice and guidance you've given to us today?
Remember that you're working with people, so be just the authentic person that you are. And don't ever just say that, if you're talking to somebody like, I'm in transition. I mean, don't start with that, because it sounds a little bit different than something like, I'm looking for a new opportunity to help my new team, whatever your benefit is. It's a different way of approaching it, and just say, oh, really, what kind of organization are you looking for? So it's very much a semantics and the verbiage that you use that's going to make a difference, and it's going to make you stand out from everybody else.
And that empowerment piece that you've shared today is a great reminder on top of finding our unique differentiator and then how we package it up in a pitch. Lisa Raebel from Raebel Girl Marketing, thank you so much for coming on today. It was a great, great interview. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Hey, it's Pat Miller, the Idea Coach, here from the Interview Podcast. If you enjoyed this information and you want to watch more of the podcast or some other helpful videos like resume tips, interview best practices, and more career training info, you can get it on our website. And here's the best part. It's all free. check out the website at careerdevelopmentsolutions.com/webinars. One more time, that's careerdevelopmentsolutions.com/webinars. See you there.